Morning, everybody. Welcome to today's show. I'm Tracy Wilson, and you're watching the Unlock Show. It's a beautiful Friday morning here on the Gold Coast of Australia. We've had a bit of rain for the rest of the week, but today woke up, it's absolutely blue sky and beautiful out there. So I'll manage to get outside and enjoy some of that sunshine a little bit later on this afternoon. Today, I wanted to talk about this topic of happiness or uncertainty. Now, often as we go through, and I chose this particular topic because it's one that I think a lot of everyone pretty much contemplates this at some time or another in their life. And the topic suggests that, we sometimes choose things and we choose either happiness or choose to be unhappy, or we choose uncertainty. And which pathway we decide to go down really comes down to a number of different things. And this morning I want to tell a few stories because I've been reflecting on, I suppose, my life and also just some conversations that I've had with people around me. And it's just been a really, really interesting week. So I wanted to share this with you guys. And I did topic this today because it's a really, really important topic. Now, if I go back a number of years and I think about me as a little girl growing up, and I'm thinking about my dad. And back in those days, it was a time where you were taught to go to school. You were the suggestion was you go to school, you get really good grades, you go to college or university. From where I come from, you get a degree, and then you're going to land yourself a really good job. And if you don't manage to go to university, well, you can still get a good job. You can get a trade. You can, get yourself a job that you will be able to have for your lifetime. So, I am going back a number of years, but this was the world in which our parents grew up in, right? So, or certainly my parents did. They grew up in a world where, stability and having a stable job was the right thing to do. And I remember back being a young girl, and my dad used to come home from work, and he would have been, ticked off, unhappy, really grumpy about what's gone on in the day because he was not happy in the role that he had. However, he stuck it out. But he did have an opportunity at several times throughout his career to actually start his own job or start his own business, because he was actually really, really good at what he did. He was a draftsman, so he could architect houses and do really awesome drawings, and he did a lot of this sort of stuff for friends and family and neighbors and what have you. But he never ever really got the opportunity, or took the opportunity, I should say, to actually go out and start his own business. So in this case, and why didn't he do that? Well, if I remember back to my childhood, I can remember him saying to my mum at the time, I want to do this, but I've got to put food on the table. I've got to, be able to provide. I've got to be able to pay our mortgage. Who the heck is going to do all of that stuff? If I leave and I have to start my own business, how am I actually going to do that? So in this case, this amazing man who was really, really good at what he was doing, actually chose to continue to be happy for the rest of his career, for the rest of the 40 years that he stayed at that one job, compared to taking a risk and being uncertain of what the future might hold, uncertain of where the next dollar might come from. And I tell you the story because now, as time has gone on, my dad is in his late 60s now. And given that he stayed in that job for such a long period of time and was unhappy doing it, it's such a shame, because he then got to a point where he thought, well, I'm going to stay in this job, I'm going to retire, and one day I'll be able to do all these wonderful things, even though I will stick at this job and be unhappy with it for as long as I possibly can, because the fruits of my labor are going to be awarded to me in my retirement. Fast forward a few years, fast forward about 10 or 20 years actually, now retired, and about 2.5 years into his retirement, he has a stroke. So all of a sudden, the entire world that he knew, the dream that he had created of, I'm going to work really hard for 40 years, and in my retirement, I'll be able to travel, I'll be able to do all these wonderful things, I'll be able to experience life. I can do all of that in my retirement. In a split second, were taken away, the rug pulled right out from under him. So I tell you this story because this is a real story of, what do you choose? Do you choose to be unhappy, or do you choose the uncertainty? And at every point in our lives, we are faced with this question. And if you are unhappy in your life right now, you're at a crossroad and you're thinking, man, what I'm doing right now, I'm not real happy doing it. You have most likely got something in your mind of what you want to do, where you want to go, but something is telling you that don't do it. Why? Because there is some level of uncertainty. Now, what I can tell you for sure is that if you remain and you choose the unhappy side of the fence, with absolute certainty, I can tell you that you will remain unhappy. If you choose the uncertainty side of the fence and you just kind of leap and you give it a go, not really knowing what the future might hold, but knowing that deep inside of you, you've got something bigger that you want to share. You've got more of a message that you want to share with the world. You want to do something that's a little bit different. You kind of want to break out of your shell. I can tell you for certain that happiness will follow you along the way. If you do what you want to do in life that actually lights you up and makes you happy, then uncertainty will not raise its head because you are always doing what makes you happy, and the uncertainty piece will just continue to the certainty part will start to unfold itself right in front of your eyes. The other story that I wanted to share with you guys today is I was having a chat with somebody else a couple of weeks ago, and this particular person was really unhappy with where they were at in their life at that moment. And I asked them the question, well, what's going to make you happy? Like, what actually makes you happy? What will what will light you up? And the person turned to me and said, well, I don't know. I don't know what's going to make me happy. So I want you to ask yourselves these things today. I want you to contemplate for a moment, like in your wildest dreams, all the things that you love right now in your life. What are the things that make you wake up in the morning and want to just jump out of bed and make you want to live life? Because actually, that's what this show is all about. It's about living your life unlocked with nothing holding you back, with a um, a sense of adventure, with a sense of wanting to explore and know new things and do new things. If you could live your life in that manner, what would your life actually look like if that were the case? So whenever you're faced with an opportunity in your life, you want to think about, and you're maybe you're unhappy. You want to think about, what am I going to choose? Am I going to choose the unhappiness? Am I going to stay exactly where I am right now? Or will I actually choose to back myself, take a leap of faith, put my money where my mouth is, and give things a go, even in the face of uncertainty? Because when you start to do that, all the right people will show up in your life, all the right answers will show up in your life. You will start to think really deeply about what it is that you want, and all of a sudden, things will start to unfold, and you will shift from being that in that unhappy space to now having a sense of adventure, having a sense of, you know, of purpose, a sense of knowing what it is that you want to do. So today's show, I wanted to just do a really short show today, but I really wanted to make sure that I touched on this particular topic because I know that there are a lot of people out there who are contemplating this unhappiness or uncertainty and which way they should go. What should they do? One thing that I would recommend that you do if you're sitting in a place, particularly if you're somebody who's maybe you're in a job that you're really unhappy with and you want to start something of your own, what is the first step that you can take that will actually help you to create some level of certainty? That is to find a coach or somebody to help you, someone that's been there and done that, somebody that can give you some guidance, show you the pitfalls, tell you what might be coming up in front of you so that you can start to create that level of certainty so that you can start building the life of your dreams and doing the things that you want to do without feeling locked up, without anything holding you back. So today's show was really just a moment for me to reflect on, what's been going on, what conversations I've had in the last few weeks, to share that with you guys, and to give you an opportunity to really contemplate this question that I'm posing to you today. Which will you choose? Will you choose unhappiness or will you choose uncertainty? And if you're going to ask me, I would put my money on uncertainty every single time because I know that I can take that leap, and I know you can too. You can take that leap and you can start to put in place the actions that you need to do to start building certainty into your life, and start doing it today. So I'm going to leave the show at that for this morning. contemplate the uncertainty or the unhappiness, and make sure that you start living your life in a way that is completely unlocked, that you feel lit up and alive, and that you're able to tackle anything that you can, or anything that the world throws your way. So with that being said, guys, I want to say have a fantastic day, and I'm going to see you guys back here again on Wednesday. I'll be back with another guest. I've got an exciting guest for you guys for next week, and then again on Friday. So Fridays and Wednesdays, 10 a.m. Brisbane time, for another episode of The Unlock Show. Thanks very much for joining me today. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.